I'll start recording now.
Mom, I now have my old blanket.
Oh,
Because
why
it
do you have
was
your,
cold yesterday.
it was cold last night. You're right, Joshua. I felt that too. Even when I got up this morning, I was like, ooh, I needed to put on a sweatshirt.
Lauren couldn't sleep at last night at all.
How come? You having a bad
But
dream?
like 1 hour, she just did it.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
Sounds good. We'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll get started. Good morning, Zara.
What happened? I'm gonna be in second grade.
Good morning, Kimberly. Yes, Anya S., do you have a question?
No, but I've been watching Flip, and since now, I got the supplies to make her arm that actually moves with no motors,
Oh my
just
gosh.
water.
That's awesome. You'll have to put it on Seesaw for us to see. Record it like a YouTube video. Okay? That would be awesome. Okay, Alexandria's coming in. We've got Kaya. I wonder if, good morning, Brandon. I didn't see you come in. You look like you just got out of bed, friend. I'm glad you could join us. Hi, Edwin. Ooh, Edwin, what's that? Is that a cube you made or what?
Oh, it's for like crinkled papers. It like straightens them out. Like
Oh.
if you have a crinkled paper, you just put it on top.
Oh, right.
And it's
And then it
pretty
straightens
easy
it out.
to make.
Yeah, it looks great. Good morning, Alexandria. Hello, Kaya. Good to see you guys.
It is so easy.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. We have a couple of things I need to remind you of, and then we will go ahead and we're going to have a guest speaker today. Ooh, a guest speaker. So let me go ahead and share the video. Hold on. I mean, share what we're doing here. Okay. Boop. Boop. All right. Start. I've got to let in Maddie and Anya J. And I don't know who that is, but we'll see. Okay, so today is Wednesday, May 20th. I want to remind you that I haven't been giving you any Seesaw activities to do except for the end of the year activities. And the end of the year activities has to do with the book that we're creating. The link for that is up here in the top, memory book and diagrams. So please, the links are right there for you at the top of my daily plan, and you find that on our class webpage. Don't forget about your design challenge. This is how would you design a habitat to live on the moon or another planet? I wanted to share with you, Brandon has drawn a beautiful version of his habitat. I'm going to push his thinking a little bit. He does have a protective shield, but I'd like to see how we are going to get water and how we're going to get food, how are we going to manage that. So this is good, but now add to it. All right, add to it. Keep working on it. Remember, it's always, this is awesome, Brandon. You did a great job.
The plants provide food and water.
Okay, well, how do they provide the water? Because they actually need water in order to grow. Yeah, so I need you to think a little bit more, all right? It's not that easy. All right, on Seesaw, I did push out to you the end of the year digital memory book, and there are 7 things that you have to do, all right? One of them is just take a picture of yourself doing something at home. Another one is brainstorming about something that you learned in school that you were proud of. One of them is giving an autograph basically to each of these different people in our homeroom. So you might say, good luck in 3rd grade if it's a 2nd grader, or enjoy your summer, or I know you'll rock 3rd grade. All right, so you just have to write 1 sentence for each of those people, wishing them like an autograph. You give an autograph. We're going to look at the difference between the beginning and end of the year. So this is where your end of the year picture is going to go. This is the picture that you need to take. Mom needs to take it. Dad needs to take it. A sister or brother could take it of you doing something at home. All right. You just put that on Seesaw and I'll take it. This is also on Seesaw. This is your Venn diagram. What do you remember? How did you feel about the beginning of the year? Who were your friends? Where was your homeroom? What did you do that you remember at the beginning of the year? At the end of the year, we're not at school anymore. Okay, so how do you feel learning from home? Where are you doing your learning? How do you talk to your friends? What are things that you're interested in? And then in the middle, remember, is where we put how they're the same. So Camilla has done a great job already. She actually printed it out and working on it. And Max, he just typed it on Seesaw, which is totally perfect. So you need to get going on that. And then you're going to write sentences using the stuff from your Venn diagram. So 5 to 6 good complete sentences, just like Camilla did, and you're good to go. So this is on Seesaw, and you need to get started on it. If you don't want anything in your memory book, that's fine. I am trying to push and put something together, but I would really like some input from you as well. Anya J, you had a question?
Yes, because my brother, when I was going to do my digital year memory book,
Yeah.
my brother pressed the check button, and there's an edit button.
Okay, so I need to re-push that out to you.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for letting me know. Any other questions before we get started? Okay. I'm sorry, Joshua, you have a question. Go ahead.
When you already check something and somebody else, like when you check something on Seesaw and then it already uploads, you can delete it then do it again.
Yes, you can. Or you can go into your journal, because that's where everything is stored, on the right side where you find your name when you open up Seesaw, and all your work is in there, and you can actually click on it again and add to it. But okay, so you could try to find it again, Anya J, in your journal. That's where it is. But I'll send it out to you.
But when I pressed it, there was no T label that I could write it or anything.
Okay, I'll delete it and resend it out to you. All right, sounds good. All right, so we have a guest speaker this morning, friends, and that guest speaker is Mr. Foley, and he's going to talk to us today about something fun. So take it away, Mr. Foley. Oh, wait, I need to share your screen there. Okay, you should be able to share your screen now.
Yeah, I think I can.
Okay, good.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you. It looks like we have almost everybody.
Yeah, I know. This is awesome.
Whole class. All right, so today I'm going to be taking you on a little fun journey. We're going to be learning about the Statue of Liberty. All right. Can you see the screen? Thumbs up if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Did I do it right? Great, thank you. All right, so the Statue of Liberty is an American symbol. How many of you have seen the Statue of Liberty before? Who can raise their hand so I can see? Oh yeah, quite a few of you have seen this before.
I have.
May look kind of familiar.
Yeah.
So the Statue of Liberty is also called Lady Liberty. Sometimes you hear us talk about her that way, and we call the statue a her because it's a depiction of a woman. So Lady Liberty. Here's some more pictures of Lady Liberty. So we've done this before. We've used annotation tools before. And we're going to do a quick activity. We're going to be taking a vote to see where we think the Statue of Liberty is located. So if everyone can ready their annotation tool, I want us to remember that we're going to be acting responsibly when we annotate, right? So just give me a little mark somewhere. For example, if you want to just draw on the screen like I am where you think it is, but just give me one mark, okay? I don't want to see the same mark 20 times on the same or on different parts of the map,
York.
right?
Well, where is that? Where's New York, Brandon?
It's
All right, so here I'm going to give you another. All right, so here's the map of the United States, right? Here are the options you can choose from. There's 4 places. Do you think it's in spot 1, spot 2, spot 3, or spot 4?
3.
All right. Oh, yeah, I see
Oh, got a lot of marks coming in. That's awesome.
Florida.
Gotta vote for 4, vote for 2, 1 vote for 1.
How much people vote for 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it is at 3.
It is a 3. Are you
All
sure?
right, well, let's take a look. Let's see. Finish up your annotating and let's see where Statue of Liberty is located.
It's in New York.
It is in New York. Very good. I see a lot of people voted. Someone voted over in California in number 1. That's where we are, right? I wish we could go see the Statue of Liberty because I've never seen it. So if it were in
Oh my
California, I
goodness.
definitely would.
California.
Yeah, and some of you maybe noticed the clues that it was surrounded by water, right? So maybe Florida would have been a good guess. So more specifically, if you Liberty is located around right here in New York on the coast, because New York has a lot of inland where you all voted, but then the Statue of Liberty is all the way in the corner there. So here's a map of where we can find the Statue of Liberty near New York and New Jersey, actually. So you can get to the Statue of Liberty from 2 different states, and you can take the ferry across the water and reach it from those 2 different ferries. And then if you see here, it's on, I'm gonna spotlight it for you. It's over here where this red arrow is. The Liberty Island. Statue of Liberty has its own island.
Oh, cool.
Has anyone been to the Statue of Liberty? Miss Maury has.
I have.
Anya S. Gavin.
Anya J, excellent. Mason, you've been to the Statue of Liberty? That's great. Lars, you have too? That's awesome.
I am so envious of
I
all of
haven't
you.
been to
I've
the
never even
Statue
been
of
to New York City, and I need to go and see the Statue of Liberty.
Don't go now, Mr. Foley.
I know, not right now, not a good time right now. But here's another look at Liberty Island. I'm gonna clear all the drawings. Here's another look at Liberty Island from overhead. And you can see that Statue of Liberty is on top of a large building with this kind of star square shape in the middle. And we see the dock where the ferries arrive and the people board. And here's another view with what city is that in the background? Who can identify that city? Does anyone have an idea?
New York.
Yes, very good. Who
New
was that?
New York.
Yeah, that's New York City. You can see the World Trade Tower, right? Miss Moy, what's it? Has a new name.
I don't know. It's not
But
the Empire State
that
Building.
tall building.
Ooh,
Freedom Tower.
oh, the Freedom Tower.
Freedom Tower. That's
There
right.
you go. Thank you, Jillian.
The Freedom Tower. So that's
This
perfect.
morning-
Thank
Now,
you
hold
for
on.
not annotating anymore for the rest of the until I ask you again. Thank you.
I went to Big Ben, what is it called again? That big tower?
Freedom Tower.
Oh, I went.
It replaced the World Trade Center. All right, so we can see that the Statue of Liberty is a very big monument, right? So how big is it? Well, it's pretty big, and I'm going
1
to show
mile
you.
long.
So let's take a look at the Disneyland Castle. Have you been to the Disneyland Castle?
Yes.
Yes. It's pretty big, right? When you walk into Disneyland,
Yeah.
those of you who have seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for not annotating anymore. Can you please undo that and not annotate and scribble on the screen
It's
because we can't see the slideshow.
Disneyland Castle 77.
Can you please undo that annotation? Thank
All right,
you.
so please, no more annotating. Thank you. So the Disneyland Castle is 77 feet tall, which is pretty big, right? Like Mr. Foley, myself, I'm 6 feet tall. So that's quite a few of me stacked on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
But what about something even bigger? What about the Coronado Bridge? Well, the Coronado Bridge here in San Diego, that's 200 feet tall. It's actually a little bit taller than that. But a ship up to 200 feet can
1
pass
mile
under it. So it's around 200 feet tall. And it's still not as big as the Statue of Liberty. Wow.
Statue of Liberty is maybe 1 mile tall.
Statue of Liberty is actually 305 feet tall. Can you see that? The top of the torch is 305 feet
Statue
tall.
of Liberty is made of so much pennies.
Holy moly. All right, so if you're doing the math like me, I'm 6 feet tall. That means the Statue of Liberty is 50 times my height. Can you imagine that? Me standing on myself 50 times to get to the top? And here's some more interesting math about the Statue of Liberty. The copper that it's made out of, everything we see, is only 2 pennies thick. Can you believe that? And pennies used to be made out of copper. So it's the same material. And it's only 2 pennies thick. So if you're in the Statue of Liberty, there's only 2 pennies between you and the outside air. And a penny is 1.5 millimeters thick. So how many millimeters thick is that? Who has an idea? Kaya, are you raising your hand? Kaya, did you want to answer or respond?
No, I just want to say when I went to New York once and I got this.
Ooh, what did you get? I lost your picture.
Oh, you got a little Statue of Liberty there, Mason. That's cool.
Oh, cool.
Very
All right, so
cool.
who has an idea about how thick the Statue of Liberty's copper is? Lars, is your hand up?
Mr. Foley. Mr. Foley. Mr. Foley.
Yes, Ani, I think Lars was saying something.
I've got this pen. Like
You got a pen from the Statue of Liberty? Very cool. All right, so the Statue of Liberty is only 3 millimeters thick. That's 2 pennies thick. That's very thin.
Oh my
If you look at a ruler, that's very thin. So now I want to take we're going to take a quick little walking tour of the Statue of Liberty just for a couple minutes. So this is the dock where you disembark from the ferry. You can see all the people here waiting to get back on a ferry to go home. This is Liberty Island. Oh, and there it is. There's the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, very cool. Look at that.
So much people.
I know. That was probably before we had to do social distancing, huh?
Yeah, this is before social distancing. Absolutely right. But you can see it's a pretty big island, right? Because we know the
Yeah, it
Statue of
is.
Liberty is very tall. So now we're going to, this is walking into the base. This is the foundation. Remember I pointed out the star symbol at the bottom?
Hmm?
Yes, Kaya, did you want to share something or have a question? Oh, there's your Statue of Liberty. Very
Thanks,
cool.
Kaya. That's awesome.
I wish I had one.
So we're walking
One
into
day
the bottom part of your little statue there.
But inside the museum, see, they have the torch. They have or part of the torch. I think maybe the original
Listen, you,
torch.
Alexandria.
What
Oh
if
my
the building breaks because the Statue of Liberty is too heavy?
Well, they actually put a lot of thought into that when they went to construct it. That's an excellent question. If I remember correctly, it should stand for many, many hundreds of years to come just fine.
That's awesome.
All right, so now we're going to see inside that torch. So after walking up a lot of steps, this is when we finally come to the top. Not inside the torch, inside the crown. So we're inside the Statue of Liberty's head right now.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. This makes me dizzy.
Oh,
Oh, oh my gosh.
look.
There's
Oh
New
my
York
gosh,
City.
that's awesome.
Oh, there's the tablet.
Ah,
Oh,
that's pretty cool.
It kind of looks like a plane going up.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
huh? That's right, because you're so high, I think.
and so they're going to see right here.
Oh.
These are the lights that shine out at night, so you can see the Statue of Liberty's crown is shining with light.
Statue of Liberty breaks during when people are inside.
Oh, I don't think that would happen. So the Statue of Liberty was built so that it actually moves with the wind. A lot of tall buildings are built that way so that they're flexible. Because if they get hit by wind and they can't move, they would kind of destabilize, right? but they make it a little bit flexible and bendy. So the Statue of Liberty can actually move a few inches
Wow.
from the wind, which is kind of crazy. And the torch, I believe, can move like 6 inches. So it can go left and right and back and forth 6 inches. So if it's hit by wind, it has a little bit of flexibility so it doesn't fall off or break or anything like that. It
That's
should be
cool.
very, very, very safe. So what did you notice about that? Does anyone like to share something real quick about the tour? Or anything they wondered?
I never knew that the Statue of Liberty's crown was so like diagonal.
Yeah,
I felt
kind of
like
makes you
that
dizzy, huh?
it was so quick.
Yeah. Mason, did you have something you wanted to mention?
I can't imagine the Statue of Liberty. If you're in the Statue of Liberty, the wall is only 2 pennies thick, and the ground is only 2 pennies thick.
Isn't that
So you're
crazy?
probably gonna fall.
I think that's the covering on the outside of
Yeah, the
it.
covering on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's like if we built with some sticks and then we wrapped around like wrapping paper or something, but much sturdier. So the inside is the sturdiest part, and then the covering that's 2 pennies thick goes around it. All right, so let's talk about the Statue of Liberty and why it's significant. Why is it important? Why does it matter? What does it signify?
It's the freedom sign.
Yeah, freedom, right? It's a very important American symbol. So the Statue of Liberty was a gift from France. Did anyone know that?
Yes.
Yes. So it was built in partnership with France, and it was funded by France, and it was a gift from France. And it was dedicated to America in 1886,
Whew.
which is almost 150 years ago. It's like 134 years ago.
That's
But construction on it began earlier than that. They had to start building it and planning it before it was brought over to America in pieces. I think some of it was actually built here too as well, but it was a gift from France. And you can see this picture of it as it was being constructed.
Lars, you have something to add?
How many stairs do you think there is?
Okay, July.
How many stairs? I don't know. Mr. Foley, do
Oh,
you know
yeah.
how many stairs?
I think it was 180 something, I think I heard them say when I
Can
was
we walk
researching it.
inside the book? Do you know how?
All right. So remember when we were in the crown and we looked down and we saw the tablet? Here's a better view so it's not as upside down, so you can take a look. So this says July and then a bunch of weird letters, right? Does anyone know what these strange letters are?
That's
Why do-
4th.
Yeah, I think it says this one right over here. Wait,
It's July 4th.
this one right over here. That means 4 in Roman.
yeah, Anya, can you say that again? In what?
That means
For the
4
Roman
in
numerals.
Yeah, Roman numerals.
4th, 1776.
Yeah. So this is the date of our independence written in Roman numerals. This is how the ancient Romans used to write their numbers. And so this is the date that we declared our independence as America, as our own country without British rule. So we were saying England, or Britain at the time, America is going to be its own country. We do not owe you anything. We are not belonging to the British government. So this is a very important date for America. And so that is why this is on Lady Liberty's tablet. Because
And it's also the
it's
4th
the
of
date of
July.
our freedom from Britain.
That's right.
Yeah,
It is the 4th of July. Very
Yeah,
good.
and that's why we celebrate the 4th of July, exactly. So this is a symbol. The statue is a symbol. Does anyone know what a symbol is? Have you heard of this word before? Joshua, yes?
It means something.
It means something, yeah. A symbol represents an idea. So for example, a heart is a symbol for what?
Love.
Love, right? That's not what our hearts look like on the inside, but this is a symbol that we all know is something that means love. There's also like the symbol for infinity, which means something that goes on forever, right? You've been in a fight with someone and you say, well, yes, infinity times 2, right? We've all said that. So infinity means something goes on forever, just like that figure 8. It just keeps going and going and going. And then we also use symbols like mascots for teams. So what kind of a symbol is a tiger, for example, for a sports team? What does that mean?
To run fast.
Yeah, fast like a tiger. Fierce like a tiger, maybe, right? So symbols are everywhere in our world, and they're very important ways to tell ideas, to represent ideas. So the Statue of Liberty, as we've been saying this whole time, everyone's been saying this, is freedom. And another word for freedom is liberty. That's why we call her the Statue of Liberty. So we saw that there were some Roman numerals on the tablet. And that's because Lady Liberty is based on the Roman goddess of freedom, and her name was Libertas. Do you see that? It's a very similar word. All right, so what similarities do you see between them? Between Libertas and the Statue of Liberty?
Because
Take a minute to
they're both
look.
wearing a robe.
Yeah, I'm gonna call in some people raising their hands. If I see some hands, I'm scrolling around. Take a minute to look.
That was right, Anya J.
Kaya, did you have your hand up? No? So Anya, can you share with me what you said, please?
They're both wearing a robe.
They're both wearing a robe. Very good. And then
Kaya?
who's Nahura? I can't tell whose hand is that.
They're both statues. They both are statues.
They're both yeah, these are both statues. Very good. And Mason, did you see something that you noticed?
They're both girl statues.
They're both women. Yeah. And what about Anya S?
They both have something on their head.
Ooh, yes, they both have something on their head, right? They both have a type of crown. One person has, it looks like flowers. Libertas has flowers on her crown, and Lady Liberty's got more of a spiky crown with, those symbolize the rays of light coming out of her, because America's supposed to be a beacon for immigrants. All right, one more. Gavin, did you want to share?
Have you ever saw my baby sister?
Hold
She's
on.
always with
We're listening to
me.
Gavin right now, please. Gavin, did you want to share?
They both have in their hands.
They both have two hands?
No,
I They're holding things in their hands, right? In both of their hands.
stuff.
All right, thank you everyone who shared. Thank you so much. I wish we had time to keep talking about this because I know you have some great observations, but we have to move on. So yeah, there's a lot of similarities between them, right?
Do you know how one of the liberties was invented? By England. Well, our freedom saying
Was
we don't want England to be ruling us anymore.
Our freedom from England, right? So that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. That's great. Why was a symbol of freedom chosen for the Statue of Liberty? Well, it symbolizes America's freedom from Britain, first of all, right? But the Statue of Liberty is also located near a place called Ellis Island, which is where a lot of immigrants would come over on boats to America. And so it was placed there to represent as well immigrants' freedom from their old lives and their old countries. A lot of people came to America because they didn't have a great time living where they were. Life was very hard. Sometimes their lives were at risk. So they came to America to start a better life. So we have a couple different reasons, and there's many more why the Statue of Liberty symbolizes freedom for all Americans. For almost 150 years, it's been that symbol. We can see it on anything from currency. I see a lot of you had souvenirs that you shared. So the Statue of Liberty is very much a part of our culture.
Statue of Liberty on top.
Can you say that again?
The $1 coin has a statue.
Yeah. $1 coin, exactly. Statue of Liberty everywhere. And we even see it in movies, right? Like X-Men, here's Wolverine, he has to go save somebody at the Statue of Liberty, right? And the X-Men, they want to be free just like all Americans. And who saw the Lego movie with the Statue of Liberty? Does anyone remember that?
I watched that movie too. It was
Did
pretty
you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the Statue of Liberty was so important that even though in their Lego world it had fallen over, they still wanted to keep it. You see that? There's Batman swinging off of it. All right, so to end up, I would like you to please go to Seesaw, and we're gonna have a prompt up there. I think, I don't know if Miss
That's
Margaret-
already, it's already
up.
in the-
So there's
yeah.
a prompt up there for you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you took away from this and what freedom means to you. So what is freedom? What is liberty? So you're going to just use your use the prompt, and you're going to fill it out with the type on top of it, and you can describe how freedom is, or how what you believe freedom to be, how you would describe it to somebody else. All right, so who has some thoughts about the Statue of Liberty and what we learned today? Would anyone like to share anything? Question? Kaya?
My great grandma lived in New York.
Your grandma lives in New York?
Her
My
great-grandmother.
grandma, but then she died.
Oh, but did you get to go to New York and see her?
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, well, I wish I could go to New York. Anya S., I see your hands up.
Well, from the Statue of Liberty, I think there was a store next to the Statue of Liberty. I'm not sure about that because I was about 5 when I went there, and I got this little thing which broke on the backside, and it used to light up inside here.
Oh, you
That's
see
the
that? She's got
batteries.
Lady Liberty's torch so she can hold it up. Just like Lady Liberty, a beacon of freedom. All right. Lars, did you want to mention something or ask something?
Yeah, I got this.
Oh my gosh, look at Lars has the Lego set for Statue of Liberty.
Nice.
How cool, have you built it yet?
And my mom, no, but my mom went up to the torch before.
Oh, she's been there?
That's
Very cool. Well, if you get that built, Lars, take a picture or something and show us next time, okay?
Okay.
All right, we've got time for about one more question or comment, something that you notice. Joshua, is your hand up?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
My baby sister was right next to me all the time, and she was looking at the screen, being like, "What is this?"
Oh, that's great. Well, hopefully one day she can see the Statue of Liberty too. All right, thank you everyone for your awesome attention and your great insights and questions. I think it's a really, Statue of Liberty is really cool, and I really want to go see it myself someday. But you can always go online and you can do those tours like I showed you. A lot of people have recorded those, so you can walk around and you can hear the sounds as if you were there. And sometimes you can even hear like the museum people talking about it and explaining more details. So it's a great opportunity. All right, thank you.
Does anybody play Tinker here? I'm asking.
I do.
I play Tinker.
Okay, then that's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's
Like
good.
2 people. Cause